Hey, how's it going? Now, today, 26th June, we're going to look at three things following the Brexit psyop. And the first thing I want to show you is global force displacement hits record high worldwide. 65.3 million people have been displaced in 2015, 1 in 113. Now, you might need to take a few moments to actually comprehend that number unless you heard about this. This is from the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, the UN Refugee Agency. And wars and persecution have driven more people from their homes than at any time since the UNHCR records began, according to a new report released today by the UN Refugee Agency. 24 people were forced to flee each minute last year, 4 times more than a decade earlier, when 6 people fled every 60 seconds. It quadrupled in 10 years. And 6 million up from 12 months earlier. And they say, quote, at sea, a frightening number of refugees and migrants are dying each year. On land, people fleeing war are finding their way blocked by closed borders. And if you wonder why I'm showing you this in regards to the Brexit, then just wait a few minutes and I'll make it pretty clear. But check this out. The report found that measured against the world's population of 7.4 billion people, 1 in 113 people globally is now either an asylum seeker, internally displaced, or a refugee. And if you think that you are exempt from these circumstances and it cannot happen to you, then I think you are badly mistaken. Because that's what I believe the majority of the Western countries think. They think they are privileged or that it cannot happen to us. But that's 100%. This is coming and it is closer than it's ever been. And Brexit is one part of this deal. Now, to put it into perspective, the tally is greater than the population of the United Kingdom or of Canada, Australia, and New Zealand combined. It is made up of 3.2 million people in industrialized countries who, at the end of 2015, were awaiting decisions on asylum, the largest total UNHCR has ever recorded. Also in the tally are a record 40.8 million people who had been forced to flee their homes, but were within the confines of their own countries. And there's 21 million refugees who had to leave their countries. And every minute, 24 people displaced. Where do you think these people are going to? Well, you see that now. They are coming to the Western world. And people think that this is just an accident. This is just happens. The world just gone crazy. And that's just really very silly. Now, the second thing I want to show you in regards to Brexit and in the European Union is this effect that it had on the economy. Brexit panic wipes 2 trillion off world markets as it happened. And here you see, this is 2 days ago though, it's almost 24 hours since it first became clear that David Cameron's EU referendum had not gone as the PM had planned. And now you have a value lost 2 trillion in global stocks. The British pound has suffered its biggest one-day sell-off in recent history as the shock news the UK is heading out of the European Union sparked panic in the markets. Brexit vote leaves UK on brink of recession, economists say. Analysts predict economic and political uncertainty will hit British economy and have global repercussions. Now, the Bank of England, the European Central Bank, and the Federal Reserve have all promised to flood the market with new liquidity if needed to prevent a Brexit shock turning into new financial crisis. And there's other problems besides, printing money every single day by the billions, which they are doing, which is quantitative easing. If you don't know that, then I recommend you look that up because that's not looking good. So EU referendum, Brexit sparks calls for other EU votes from BBC. And it goes, France's National Front leader Marine Le Pen said the French must now also have the right to choose. Dutch anti-immigration politician Geert Wilders said the Netherlands deserved an exit vote, while Italy's Northern League said, now it is our turn. Now in a previous video you saw how the 52-48 this percentage thing had been a hoax and it's just been a fraud like all voting is. And also now you see there are other countries demanding their right to be able to choose and leave the European Union. Now, as you see, you have now the anti-immigration Sweden Democrats wrote on Twitter, now we wait for Swixit. And from Denmark, Danish People's Party said referendum would be a good democratic custom. European Parliament President Martin Schulz denied Brexit would trigger a domino effect, saying the EU was well prepared. There's a quote from Beatrix von Storck, Germany's Eurosceptic AfD party praising Independence Day for Great Britain, demanding that Mr. Schulz and European Commission head Jean-Claude Juncker resign. And the quote is, the European Union has failed as a political union. This is BBC coming at you. You see, the Scottish want to stay in, and now Spain want to have their say as well, whilst London, there turned out that there are some people in London who toy with the idea that London could be independent state within the United Kingdom. And just something in regards to this 48-52%. Now that's obvious that in London you had the highest percentage of Remain votes, as it's the most diverse in terms of the population. And just by accident you had commuters hit by floods chaos in race to cast EU referendum votes. This is in London. Just by accident. the night before the vote. Commuter hit by polling day travel chaos caused by flooding and torrential rain were caught in a race to cast the EU referendum vote. As time ran out for those hoping to make it to their local polling station, travelers became increasingly anxious that delays would affect people's ability to cast their votes. And this is London prior to the vote. And that's just an accident and a coincidence. They had to make the two numbers close to one another. So they had to hit London somehow. And they did just that. Real quick, more countries could follow UK out of the EU, says German Finance Ministry. And you have now France, the Netherlands, Austria, Finland, Hungary could all follow Britain out of the European Union in a rash of anti-Brussels rebellions, according to a paper prepared by the German Finance Ministry. Okay, I include the links as always, so you can check it out for yourself. But now I want to real quick include something else, and this is something that perhaps not all of you is going to understand unless you really have done some research and not relied on the mainstream garbage from the propaganda. Nonetheless, ordo ab chaos, order out of chaos. And if this is not straightforward for you, then they generated the immigration and the refugee crisis. They generated now the Brexit and the chaos that's going to come economically after that, and more countries leaving the EU, then I don't think there's much hope for you. Also, you must understand that they are engineering the weather as well, hence you see in all sorts of events that are unprecedented in human history. And if this is not obvious, then it's never going to be. The official narrative obviously is that religion's bad, we burn too much whatever and it's CO2 and all that garbage. But it's all generated order out of chaos. So they can create a one world government. And if there was any doubt in your mind, just check this out. Double-headed eagle. That is the emblem of the Rothschild dynasty and some of the main families that are at the top. But when you look at this, which is Indonesia, and this is from Russia. This is Byzantium. And you got this Albania. And this is the Austrian Empire. So, and you go on, and you see this symbol everywhere. And you should start wondering why they're using it. But what's more startling is this, that you got the eagle in United States of America, Yemen, Indonesia, Austria, Germany, Syria, Palestine, Iraq, Egypt, Moldavia, Romania, United Arab Emirates. And you can go on forever, really. Because all Western countries, they are dominated by the former Roman Empire. They have the same emblem and the same goal. And this is the emblem of the Roman Empire. And if you cannot see this as biblical and prophetic, then I don't know what help there is for you. How can Poland have the same eagle in their emblem? Why is that? Why they have that? What Germany used to have and the Nazis? How's that possible? How come Yemen have that thing in there? It's just pretty amazing. Then people can't see this. And I'll finish with a verse from the Bible. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. And this right here describes you the Roman Empire and the papacy. This is, for all of you, the Vatican, uniting the world under the eagle, creating the last empire of the world, which is the Holy Roman Empire, uniting under the one world religion, economic system, and military. And it is all ready to roll. The military, the religious system is almost there, and you got the economy collapsing, and out of that chaos will emerge the last empire of prophecy, and that is the Holy Roman Empire, united under the Pope, worshipping the dragon that is the devil. So I hope it helped and you learned something from it. Understand, this war and battle has nothing to do with oil, money, or gold control or anything like that. This is a battle from the beginning for souls, and souls are being lost on a massive scale because people refuse to read the one and only truth that is in the Bible. So I shall speak to you soon, and best wishes in the meantime.